All right, so before we begin, I want to say thank you so much for watching, supporting, subscribing. You guys have literally been along the journey with me for the last 7 to 8 months. Got up to 44,000 subscribers, and I appreciate you guys. And I do want to learn more about what you guys are looking for, what you guys are struggling with, and how I can help you. So I've made it so that about 15 people will be able to have a 15-minute call with me, free of charge. I'm not trying to sell you anything, honestly, right now. Really just wanting to learn more about what you guys are actually going through so I know what to create content around for the next upcoming year of 2025. So link will be in the description. Just book that call. The first 15 people will have that free 15-minute call with me, just breaking down what they're going through just so I can get some data. But let's get straight into the V-taper video that all of you guys I know for a fact have been looking forward to. All right, guys, so let's do it. How to build an aesthetic V-taper physique that actually turns heads no matter what room you walk into, right? We all want to have that effect in life. We all want to be admired to a certain extent. If you don't, you're probably coping, right? And it's okay. If you want to cope, you can cope. This isn't the video for you. But I know a lot of men want that type of physique, even men at the highest levels. They're asking me the same questions. How do I get the physique that you have? I have a very pronounced V-taper physique, which has helped me in a lot of social situations and even a lot of business situations as well, right? It's been a starting point in conversations. So the V-taper physique, it's literally the secret to commanding attention the minute that you walk into a room, period, point blank. Look at this guy. Like, you see him walk into a room, you're literally going to be like, who is he? What does he do? That's just subconsciously what people think. And some people just say it out loud, right? They'll think that you're important. You're doing something, right? Because you're obviously doing something right with your physique. You're obviously doing something right with your aesthetics and the way that you look. You're well kept. So that means that you have some sort of a handle on life, right? That's just what it is. And let's be real. Let's get into it, because I know a lot of you guys, you want to know like some of the deeper concepts in terms of why a V taper matters, or a jacked physique, whatever that looks like. But the first is an evolutionary appeal, right? So the V taper is pretty much hardwired in our DNA, especially with women as well, right? As a sign of strength and vitality. So wide shoulders and a narrow waist, they signal power, health, and capability. This is why women are attracted to the V taper physique. This is why even men want to be around other men who have a V taper physique. They're desiring that because it gives them a sense of power. They want to acquire power. Men want power and status, right? That's point blank, period. So this is a good kind of like an intro point to getting power and status, right? It's a visual representation of power and status. Next, it's a status symbol, right? I've said this before. So your physique is a status symbol, especially the V-taper physique, because it's not just how you look in the mirror, but it's actually the way that it changes how people perceive and respect you, and it instantly upgrades your presence overall. That's what people don't understand, right? It literally does this. Anybody who's had this physique and dresses well, which I'll get into as well in this, so you understand this a little bit better. I'm just going over like the overall baseline. This isn't going to be like a super in-depth guide into that. I do that with my clients. I'll go super into depth of how they can do that effectively, quickly, all of that. But this is honestly like just high level. It makes sense, right? It upgrades your presence. Your clothing fits better. You look like you're more put together, right? Like the guy that you saw on the last slide. It helps everything when it comes to your presence and the way that you show yourself to the world. Next is it boosts confidence, right? So when you know that your proportions are on point, right? Your self-assurance, it goes through the roof. Your self-esteem goes through the roof. And it affects pretty much everything from your social interactions to your career success. Everything is around confidence. The more confidence you have, the more people will actually buy into the fact that you are successful, even if you're not yet, right? Because I know you're going to be successful. You're going to, right? You're watching my videos, you're watching a lot of these other guys' videos, you're curious about this stuff. You're going to be successful. But you also need the confidence to back that up as you're on the way to success. All right. So that's why the V-taper matters. Now, the key components of the V-taper. This is important. So wide shoulders, right? I have very wide shoulders. Also genetic, but you can also build these as well, right? This is your foundation. Broad, capped delts that create this upper frame of the V that you want, right? A narrow waist. So a smaller waist, the smaller your waist appears, the more dramatic your taper looks. It's non-negotiable, right? You need to have a small waist. If you have a thicker waist, which you'll see a lot of the CrossFit guys, they have like thicker waist because, and I'll tell you later, they work on their obliques a little too much, right? Not even needing to for the most part. That gives them that blocky look, that like refrigerator look. You don't want that, right? Also develop lats, which is important. It's not just your front, but it's also your back, because your back will balance out your front, right? So your lats are like the wings that give you the perfect width, right? They also increase the proportions in terms of like where your shoulders are. Like literally, if your lats are wide and thick, you literally have a wider frame up top, which is very important, especially your upper lats, right? Your lower lats are important as well. And proportional arms, right? Proportional arms are important. Big, balanced arms that enhance the overall look, right? They enhance the overall look. They complement the shoulders and the lats, which is very, very important. Notice how chest isn't in here, right? A lot of people focus on the chest. The only thing that I would focus on for my chest is incline, like the upper chest. The lower chest, not necessarily. The upper chest actually does stand out, right? And that's what I work on, right? I work a lot on my upper chest, but I'm fighting right now, so it's not advantageous for me to have a huge upper chest. I used to when I was bodybuilding, but now I'm kind of toning it down because I want to be able to extend and reach a little bit more. But it's good because that doesn't really affect the V taper look for me, right? So it's good. So I'll give you a training blueprint, right, for the V taper. This is something you could take action on. Screenshot this if you need to, and actually do this for yourself for like 60 days, 90 days, 180 days, whatever that takes, right? So the first, and notice how I don't have legs in here, right? I don't have legs in here because let's be real. Legs are great. I think everybody should train legs. I train legs twice a week, right? I need to for kickboxing, for strength and everything like that. But you don't necessarily need to focus on your legs for the V taper look, at least, right? A lot of men, they do it for show, right? They want to have a good physique to start. This is just a gateway, by the way. I'm not saying that this is the best fitness like training blueprint for your entire body. This is just for the V taper, right? Just for the guys who are going to be in the comments and be like, Michael, where's your legs? No, there's no point. That's the X shape, right? That's the X factor. You can have that as well. You can train your legs. I can give you training programs for your legs too that I'm doing because I'm super tall. So my legs are super, super lean. They're very strong though. If you've ever seen my leg workouts that I do on other videos on this channel, you see I have very strong legs, but visually they don't look massive, right? I don't want them to look massive. I want to fit my jeans and I want to look good. So, and I also want to have that functionality. So let's get into it. So shoulder dominance, right? So you want to focus on lateral raises for width, right? So dumbbell lateral raises, you want to do 4 sets of 12 to 15. I spam lateral raises. So I do literally 100 lateral raises every single time I do shoulders, just because I want to be able to cap out my shoulders. As you can see, my shoulders are kind of capped right now. You can spam lateral raises, but I'm just going to give you this baseline, especially if you're just getting started. All right, so do that. Also, when you're doing lateral raises, make sure that you flare out your lats. So you see on my lat right now, it's in, and I flare it out, right? You want to flare out the lats so you can isolate the delts, so you can isolate this part of your delts, and you can just start doing the raises. You'll feel it a lot more. You don't need to use heavy weights for this. You can use light weights and just increase the reps. It works as well. Your shoulder is a smaller muscle. It does not need super heavy weights, much like what people might think. All right. The next exercise, overhead press, right? 3 sets of 8 to 10. This is going to help your frontal delt, right? You want to have that 3D delt look. So we're going to work each head of the delt, right? And then the third exercise, we're going to have the rear delt flies. So this is going to be 3 sets of 15 reps. Again, a lot of people neglect their rear delts, which the rear delt actually does give you a great look for your shoulders as well. So don't forget to do some rear delt flies in this process. Next, lat development, right? So you want to build the wings with horizontal and vertical pulling movements, right? You can exchange these movements for different movements besides these, but I'm just giving you some examples, right? So the first exercise, pull-ups, which are amazing, by the way, for your back. Lat pull down, really, really good as well. You want to do 4 sets to failure, right? Or like that's for pull-ups, or you can do 12 to 15 reps of the lat pull down. Again, same thing, 4 sets, right? Second, dumbbell rows. You can go a little bit heavier on this because you want the thickness in your back, right? You want to do 3 sets of 8 to 10. Keep it basic, right? Third exercise, straight arm pull down, right? You know what straight arm pull downs are. They're amazing for your back. They develop your back a lot. I do these religiously. 3 sets of 15 reps is really all you need. I pretty much do that same exact reps set to rep scheme as well. Next, we have core and waist control. Very, very important. So you want to emphasize tight functional abs, right? To shrink the waist visually. So You want to do hanging leg raises, right? Notice how I don't have crunches on here. You don't need to do crunches. Cable side twist or Pallof press twist, right? Where you have the cable right here, you're pressing out and then you're turning with it. That really engages your core. Keep your core tight every time you do these exercises. It will train it a lot more. A lot of people, they don't know how to engage their core. Just brace your core every time, keep it tight, and do the exercise. Actually, do that with every exercise that you do, because it's actually going to help your core a lot more than just doing isolative ab exercises. But I'm going to give you some, right? So cable side twist, 3 sets of 12 reps per side. Again, avoid over developing your obliques with heavy side bends. I see a lot of guys in the gym doing side bends. I don't think they're worth doing. They're pointless. They're not really functional at all. It's literally just guys seeing it on the internet. Don't do those. You don't need those, right? If you're doing a lot of just torso variations and you're actually doing a lot of just twists with your body, you're not going to need to do those nonsense like oblique bends. It's literally just going to give you a blocky look, which you don't need, right? If you want to develop your obliques, go get into fighting. I promise you, fighting will develop your obliques very, very well. And it'll carve you up too, right? So you're not building blocky muscle. You actually have a very strong oblique like muscle group, right? Next, arm balance, right? We want to be able to balance everything in the body. So you want to create proportionate arms that complement your upper body, right? It's very important. You don't want to have a very strong upper body and then now you don't have any arms, right? And you just have noodle arms, right? You want to have like bigger arms. Let me see if I can show you right now. See these arms getting a little bit bigger. And I'm tall, I'm 6'2". So, and my arms probably a 6'7" wingspan, right? So I gotta train arms, right? It's not going to kill me. I'm not gonna have like massive arms no matter how hard I go, right? So that's that. And no, I do not know the circumference of my biceps. I don't measure my biceps. I don't care to do that. I'm good. But barbell curls, super effective. 3 sets of 8 to 10 reps. Then you have tricep push downs, tricep rope push downs, 3 sets of 12 to 15 reps. What I would also recommend, if you want to add to the difficulty, do a drop set, right? So after you finish the 3 sets of 8 to 10, then literally do 10, drop the weight down by 10, do another 10, drop the weight down by 10, do another 10, right? Do drop sets with this. Very efficient, right? Do it. You can do it with tricep rope push downs as well. Now, for the nutrition, let's keep this basic. We don't want to go too crazy because I think a lot of people, they overdo nutrition a lot. Honestly, nutrition is all about mindset and your relationship to food and your overall goals. That's why people do better with nutrition than others. Some people just look at nutrition as, oh, I'm on this diet, so I have to do it, and then they fall off. Some people are like, no, I have to turn this into a lifestyle, and I have to train myself to actually enjoy eating the right foods because my body is a Lamborghini. So I need to put in premium fuel in that Lamborghini. And so they think very differently about their body and about the food that they're putting in their body, right? It's okay. Sometimes it's cool to eat junk food. Sometimes I do that as well. But just know that 80 to 90% of your diet needs to be clean, right? So caloric balance, to build with and shed fat fast, you need to literally do either a clean bulk or a lean cut based on your starting point. This is very important. Literally go on Google, figure out what your caloric intake needs to be based on your height, your weight, your activity levels. Literally, it's free on Google. You can find it, right? And then if it's a caloric deficit, just drop it down by 300 calories, right? If it's a caloric surplus, increase it by 300 or 400 calories, right? You want to do that to be able to either grow or to be able to lose fat, right? Fat is always lost in a caloric deficit. Remember that. Protein focus as well, right? Always focus on the protein. Protein first, carb second, right? But you need 1 gram per pound of lean body weight to maximize muscle growth. A lot of people say 1 pound per body weight. So people will take all of their body weight and they'll just like say, oh, so for example, I'm 215 right now. There's no reason for me to eat 215 grams of protein, right? But my lean muscle mass, right? Or my lean body mass, which is pretty much your total body weight, and you subtract your water weight, you subtract the weight in fat that you have. So take that percentage, multiply that percentage in decimals by your total weight, and you'll have the amount of fat in pounds that you carry, which can be alarming for a lot of people. If you look like a sack of oatmeal, you're going to wince at that, right? But you also can basically add up all of those different things and then subtract it from the total, and that'll give you the actual amount of protein that you need to consume for your muscle mass, right? That's what it is. Now, key foods. Keep it basic, right? Chicken breast. I hate chicken breast, by the way. I don't really like it. Sometimes I eat it. My girl does a really good job of making it. She puts some mustard in there, some low calorie mustard and all that. And it tastes juicier than the dry nonsense that people eat, right? I don't like dry chicken breast, which is why I try to stay away from it. If you want to substitute that, like I would do turkey, if anything. Turkey breast, really good. Eggs, of course. Literally, bro, like eat like 5 eggs a day, 5 to 10 eggs a day. It's really good for you. The cholesterol is actually really good cholesterol. It's not going to hurt you. That's not the reason why you have high cholesterol is because you eat eggs. That's literally a psyop by the Food and Drug Administration to literally keep you tamed. That's another video for another topic. Lean beef, right? Steak, lamb, turkey, right? Any of those or any other lean meats I'd stay away from pork. Sometimes I consume pork, but pork is a lot fattier and it's just not the best in terms of like all of the like nutrients that you can get from food. I just stick with like the pure like red meat, right? Lean beef, all that, chicken sometimes as well. Sometimes I'll do chicken drumsticks because I actually need more fats because I'm leaner, right? I tend to move on the skinnier pencil neck side. So I always have to make sure that I'm consuming enough, and fats have a lot more calories than other macronutrients like proteins and carbs. So if you want to bulk, this is a key, right? If you want to bulk clean, eat a lot more healthier fats because fats have 9 calories. Protein has, I believe, 4 calories. And then carbs have 4 calories as well. So you can see the difference. If you want to have more calories, introduce more clean fats into your diet. So you're looking at olive oil, avocados themselves. You're looking at all kinds of things that you can do, like nuts, all of that. Pause, no diddy, right? I just want to say that. Again, make sure that you avoid processed foods and sugars, not natural sugars. Natural sugars and fruits are perfectly fine. They're not going to make you fat, right? But processed sugars will, right? Because your body can't digest that very well. It can't turn it into energy as well. You can have it sometimes. Like, for example, I see a lot of guys doing Rice Krispie treats before they hit the gym. Just make sure that you have some physical activity that you're going to do 30 minutes before you consume any processed sugars, if you do consume that, because then it can turn it into energy and then it won't get stored in your body as fat, right? So that's very important. They'll bloat you and literally they'll bloat your waist and they'll kill your taper, right? You don't want that. Processed foods will bloat you really, really bad. Supplements, I tried to keep it simple. I was going to add more, but I was like, you know what? Supplements are literally just a nice to have. They're not like what you entirely need, right? So you look at chromium. Chromium helps with fat loss and increase of lean muscle mass. Whey protein isolate, you know that I don't like concentrate because there's lactose in it. I try to go lactose free when it comes to whey protein because a lot of that lactose is like not good for you at all. I'm not saying like milk is bad. It's not. Like I drink a lot of raw milk, but for whey protein, especially because a lot of it's processed, I want to make sure that I'm not getting processed lactose in as well. So it helps with muscle gain. We know this, right? Zinc is very important because it supports muscle growth, repair, and it boosts testosterone production. Those are the top 3. You can also add iron in there. You can add B complex vitamins. So you get your B12, you get your B1, which is thiamine, which is really, really good because at least this is what they claim. They say it's scientifically backed, but don't take it from me. Just you could do your own research. It turns carbs into energy for you, right? So it allows for you to have a lot more energy. It's like an energy metabolizer or something like that. I don't go too deep into all that type of stuff, but you get the point, right? Creatine, if you are on a clean bulk, is good as well. Just beware that creatine can bloat you, and you do need to drink a good amount of water to be able to support the creatine intake that you consume. Now, this is what a lot of fitness guys don't talk about, right? Am I a fitness guy? I don't think I'm a fitness guy. I think I'm more of like just a creator that knows a lot about fitness, has been in the fitness industry for 10 years. Man, that makes me a fitness guy. Okay, cool. I'm a fitness guy. All right. But I like to talk about social dynamics as well with that. And just overall, like the psychology around fitness. I don't really care for the nitty gritty sciencey stuff because I don't feel like a lot of people find value that they can apply. It's more of just like, let me sound smart and let me confuse you so you can work with me. Like, bro, if you work with me, it's going to be all mindset and I'm going to give you real training, real nutrition that you do. And it's really just a mindset game, right? It's not all this fancy stuff that you need to know. All right. Just remember that when you're watching other videos and you get overwhelmed. It's not complicated. I promise you. It's the same with business. Business is not complicated at all. It's very, very simple, right? But a lot of people complicate it because they want to sell you on their process, right? They make it complicated, so they create a problem to be able to sell their solution to the problem that they created. It's the same with fitness, right? I just want to make this easy for you. Style and presentation. Let's keep it simple. You see these guys, right? They're in shape, right? They look good. They have a good shoulder to waist ratio. You can see the V taper, right? More so on the guy on the right than the guy on the left, of course, right? Slight shade, but clothing that accentuates the V taper, right? So fitted shirts that hug your shoulders and your arms while tapering at the waist are your secret weapon, right? A lot of people don't tuck in their shirts. I promise you, if you tuck in your shirt, you're gonna look really good. I tuck in, even when I'm at the gym, I tuck in my shirt, and literally that V taper look is crazy, right? Versus like letting it droop. A lot of people like streetwear. I'm not a big fan. I sometimes I put on streetwear. I don't do it anymore. I used to, like maybe like 2 years ago or a year ago. But I like the classic look because it's never going to go away. This style that you see right now will never go out of style, right? It's timeless. Next is posture, right? Stand tall with your chest out and your shoulders back to exaggerate the V taper. Very, very important, right? Your posture is everything. And because you're doing a lot of back exercises, your posture is going to be good, right? Because your back is going to be straight, especially if you do the exercises correctly. Last point, confidence is key, right? So the V taper is more than just physical, right? The energy that comes with it is next level. The aura that you get having that is on the next level. And you're dressing well like these guys. I'm not telling you that your physique is just the only thing, but literally, if you can complement it with all of the other things I just talked about, you're winning. Top 1% guy, right? Common mistakes people make: overtraining chest. This is why I didn't include chest, because you guys all do chest all the time, right? Always, because you think chest is the answer. A big chest can overpower your taper and throw off proportions. It's a fact. If you've ever noticed this, like, it's crazy, right? Neglecting rear delts. I said this before. Most guys skip these, right? They're essential for a well-rounded shoulder look, that 3D shoulder effect, right? You really want to have that. And the last is poor nutrition discipline, right? You can't outtrain a bad diet if you want a sharp waistline. Like, that's why people complain about belly fat all the time. It's hard to get off if you've already accumulated belly fat. So you need to have insane discipline during that time that you're cutting it down to be able to, get that V taper look that you want. So those are the main mistakes that I see people make a lot. Or they might just be training like an area of their body that's already well developed, and they just do it because it's just a part of a program that they found on YouTube or something. It's not custom to them. So that's a big reason why. So those are the top mistakes that I see. I want to wrap this up because we're already over 20 minutes. I'm making really long videos for y'all, but I hope you're finding a lot of value in it. Again, if you saw in the beginning of the video, I am doing for over the next few days 15-minute free consultations with my subscribers as just a thank you for working with me, for subscribing to me, for watching my videos, supporting me, getting me to 44,000 subscribers. It means a lot to me. So I want to be able to talk to you more about what value I can provide to you. What are you going through? What are your problems? So I understand my audience a bit better. I'm capping it at 15 guys. The link will be in the description. Go there, book a call with me. We'll talk for 15 minutes. I literally don't have anything to sell you. So it is what it is. All right. I appreciate you, and I'll catch you on the next video.